Given the Prime Minister's desire to strengthen strategic alignment with our European neighbours, will he, in the interests of public safety, follow the lead of France, Denmark, Belgium and others and ban the burqa?
Yeah.
Prime Minister.
Can I welcome her to her place? But I'm not going to follow her down that line. But now she is here and safely in her place, perhaps she could tell her new party leader that his latest plan to bet £80 billion of unfunded tax cuts, there's no idea how he's going to pay for it, is Liz Truss all over again. Although, considering I think she was a Conservative member when Liz Truss was leader, she probably won't.
So other countries have done it. But should they be doing this? Let's turn first to Khadija Khan, who's a journalist and broadcaster, and joins me now. Your views of this idea of the ban, where do you stand on that? Good morning.
Good morning, Nick. I believe that it's a right time that we discuss to ban this attire, because it's not only a security concern, but it's also a concern about gender equality. And it's a shame, really, that the Prime Minister, he refused to answer. He was quite dismissive, and in his indifference, it was staggering. And the laughter ensued on Labour benches. It was really reckless, to be very honest, because since he is the Prime Minister, he represents the British people, including Muslim women and ex-Muslim women. So women who are, campaigning for, banning hijab in primary school, British primary school, or just want to have a discussion on this issue, because it is a contentious issue among Muslims, and it impacts millions of women around the world, including in Britain. So just having a desire to have a conversation has been brushed under the carpet to protect sensibilities of religious fundamentalists, and this laughter that ensued, Prime Minister's dismissive response on Labour benches, I think that was quite staggering and shocking.
So if you wear one, are you a religious fundamentalist then, Khadija, if I may call you that?
No, I wouldn't say that women who are
You did just use those words, though, Khadija.
Nick, this attire is not just a piece of clothing. It is an attire that comes with a misogynistic ideology that denigrates women, that put burden on women, that put burden of honor of the religion and the culture and the family on the shoulders of women, that tells that it's women who bear the responsibility for whatever happens to her. Okay. So we need to challenge that ideology. And the women
and I want to challenge it to a degree. Now, I don't want you to go. If I could just ask you to pause, Khadija. I want to bring someone else into the conversation, and I will come back to you. But I'd like to bring in Lila Tamea, who is a Muslim Yemeni activist and a PhD researcher, and put to you some of the suggestions there. It's a misogynistic piece of clothing, and it denigrated women. Your reaction to that? Good morning.
Good morning, Nick. I think it's quite bizarre, really, to position it from a gender equality point of view when Muslim women themselves choose to wear it. And I think we should understand the positionality of the previous speaker. I don't know what.
So her name is Khadija. She can listen to what you're saying if you want to address her. You don't have to. It's entirely up to you.
Is she one of those quote unquote ex-Muslims? I don't know. What we need to understand is in Islam, there is no such thing as compulsion in faith. We're not, it's actually a sin, considered a sin to force a woman to do something which is not expected to do. So yeah, I think it's.
Well, let's put that to Khadija. By the way, you don't have to tell me whether you are of a faith, whether you were of a faith. That's entirely up to you.
Calling me an ex-Muslim does not discredit my argument, because what is bizarre is that they say that it's a matter of choice for women. So you tell me, where is the matter of choice when you see primary school going girls wearing hijab? They don't have a choice in this matter. They are being made to wear it. And this one piece of clothing has been used as an effective tool to maintain and sustain.
Okay, I think you make good points, Khadija, but we must... Khadija, I think you make very... So let's hear a response. Thank you, Khadija. Layla, let's bring you in. Lila Tamea.
By all means, if the children are being forced to wear it, absolutely, you can have that conversation. But to outright consider a ban on the burqa,
Layla, would a primary school girl know? I mean, I don't know. I'm not a Muslim. I don't have Muslim daughters. But would a 6 or 7-year-old girl do it of her own volition, do you think, Layla?
I mean, absolutely. They see their parents, they see their mothers, and they want to emulate and be like their mothers, are inspired by their mothers. It comes from a place of
Do
love.
they also have choice?
Okay. Thank you, Layla. Yeah, Khadija, let's... Oh, and I'm sure we all respect each other's position. Khadija, how do you want to respond to Layla?
When I say that we need to ban burqa, or we need to at least have a discussion in a democracy, we are a democracy, and just outrightly shutting down discussion is a cornerstone of totalitarian and theocratic states such as Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and other Muslim majority countries. I think we are not like them.
I don't think Layla's trying to take us to Afghanistan, but Layla, would you not even want the conversation?
I mean, the question of what's going on in Iran is actually very much linked to this debate. There are two sides of the same coin, conditioning and obligating women to do things that they don't want to do, which of course I will get on board with. But to outright force people to uncover something that they don't wish to uncover, that is what I would consider totalitarian.
I mean, I have to put that to you, Khadija. I'm not a Muslim, but that doesn't sound very British. If someone wants to wear a bit of cloth, we let them... Go ahead, sorry, go ahead.
Nick, you just mentioned about European countries who have already banned it. I'm going to tell you some of the Muslim majority countries like Kosovo, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tunisia, Tajikistan, Egypt, and Morocco. They have banned hijab, burqa, and niqab in public places and in educational institutions just to counter extremist and radical interpretation of religion and to preserve local culture. So why can't we have this discussion? This is not totalitarian to have discussion, and where women they claim to wear, they claim that they choose to wear it. There are women who say that we don't want to wear it, right? And they have to face repercussions.
Let's put that list. Thank you again, Khadija. Layla, I mean, it doesn't mean they're right, but if we're hearing that a growing number of countries are taking this course of action, Layla.
I mean, I'm not familiar with those policies.
Okay, sure.
But in any case, forcing a woman or a man, anyone, to reveal an item or an area of their body which they don't want to, I think is a dangerous move. And it brings us into a slippery slope where, what is the burqa? Is the burqa the full face? Is the burqa the niqab? There's different, and I don't expect...
Well, what do you perceive it to be? Respectfully, you're closer to it than I am. What if I was to say burqa to you, I have to say I see it as the full face covering. What do you see it as?
Do you consider the full face covering the revealing of the eyes as well, or?
Well, yes, the eyes, or sometimes there's a mesh, isn't there? Sometimes, again, I mean, you're a little unfair. You know more than I do about it, but that's what I see as the burqa.
Of course, but this is the problem. There are a lot of nuances with this, and my worry is that it will go, as we see in France, from the burqa to the hijab to suddenly trying to see how long someone's dress is.
And do you mind me? I'm not being cheeky. So, what are you wearing as we're having this discussion? I can see your full face, but your hair is covered. So, you're wearing a.
This is a hijab.
You're wearing a hijab. And lastly, did you, from a young girl, decide you wanted... Do you wear a book? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I chose to wear the hijab from the age of 16.
But do you wear a face covering when you go out, lastly?
No.
No, you
Although
don't.
Nick, I did actually deliver a presentation yesterday wearing a burqa to provoke questions from the audience. And I noticed the looks on certain, colleagues and academics' faces when they saw me with...
What were the looks? Describe the looks, if you would, Layla.
A sense of discomfort, and there's a deep misunderstanding when it comes to the veil, and that is because of the lack of education that people have. And I think
I can see Khadija wants a final word on what you just heard. Khadija,
so
briefly.
Patronizing. That's so patronizing. I find it extremely patronizing. I was born into a religion. I was raised as a Muslim in a Muslim majority country. So saying that I'm not
Khadija, if this young woman wants to wear a face covering, why is that patronizing?
It's just saying that I'm not educated, or people like me are not educated enough to talk about it. I mean, that's quite patronizing.
Oh, well, let's have a final response, Layla. But I must later respond to that. Then I'm going to be late to news. Layla, sorry, a quick response if you...
I'll be honest, Nick, the position of ex-Muslims often is they've got deep-rooted traumas from, they've themselves have been taught religion and Islam the way it actually is not.
All right, I'm very grateful to you both. Thank you. Let's conclude it there before there's any unfortunate discourse between the two of you, and I'm grateful that you've respected each other's positions. You heard first from Khadija Khan, who's a journalist and broadcaster, and then Lila Tamea, who's a Muslim Yemeni activist and PhD researcher.